The clinking of silverware stopped the moment Annie slid into her seat. The restaurant buzz dimmed, laughter halted, forks hovered midair. Rose's friends froze, eyes darting between each other like a secret had been exposed. One leaned toward another and whispered, just loud enough for Annie to hear, "She actually brought her?" The words carried, sharp and poisonous. Annie adjusted her napkin, her face calm, though her stomach knotted. She glanced at Rose, searching for reassurance. Rose stared at her plate, lips pressed tightly shut, a chair scraped back with an ugly screech. "I don't think I'm hungry anymore," a girl muttered, tossing her hair. Another grabbed Rose's sleeve, urging, "Come on, let's go." Annie's throat tightened. "Rose?" she whispered, but Rose avoided her gaze. She hesitated, just for a breath, then stood and walked out with them. The restaurant fell silent. Dozens of eyes fixed on Annie. Some pitied her, others smirked with satisfaction. The betrayal landed heavier than the stares, but Annie lifted her chin. She whispered to herself, steady and defiant, "If my skin makes them leave, that's their weakness, not mine." She picked up her fork, cut into her meal, and took a bite. Alone. Proud. Unbroken. If this story already has you hooked, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that shine a light on resilience. But how did it come to this? Annie hadn't always been so calm in the face of cruelty. She grew up in a small town where her skin often spoke louder than her voice. At school, she was the brightest in her class, her essays always earning top marks. Yet teachers would hand her papers back with surprised smiles as though excellence couldn't belong to her. She remembered one day vividly. Her math teacher, Mr. Collins, scanned the graded test. He frowned, then called her to the front. "Are you sure you didn't copy these answers?" he asked loudly. The class snickered. Annie clenched her fists, her voice trembling but steady. "No, sir, I studied." The humiliation burned, but she never let them see her cry. At lunch, whispers followed her like shadows. She only got in because of diversity quotas. She doesn't belong here. She walked past, back straight, eyes forward. But inside, each word cut deep. Rose had been her safe place. The bubbly girl with blonde curls had befriended her in middle school, offering kindness when others offered cruelty. They spent weekends studying, sleepovers filled with whispered secrets. Rose once promised her, "No matter what, I'll stand by you. Always." That promise echoed in Annie's head the night of the dinner. Earlier that evening, Annie stood before her mirror, smoothing the folds of her navy blue dress. Her mother peeked into the room, smiling softly. "You look stunning, baby," she said. Annie adjusted an earring nervously. "Do you think they'll like me?" Her mother walked in, placing steady hands on her shoulders. "Listen to me. Your skin is your crown. It carries your history, your strength, your beauty. Anyone who can't see that, that's their blindness, not your flaw." Annie swallowed hard, nodding. She carried those words with her as she stepped into the restaurant that night, hopeful, excited, and unprepared for the cruelty awaiting her. The table conversation began awkwardly. One girl asked, her voice dripping with false sweetness, "So, Annie, where are you really from?" Annie smiled politely. "I grew up right here, same as Rose." The girl's smile faltered. "No, I mean, where are you really from?" Laughter flickered around the table. Rose shifted uncomfortably. Another leaned in, smirking. "Do you tan, or does your skin just stay like that?" Annie's stomach twisted. She caught Rose's eyes, silently pleading for her to say something. Rose looked away. Then came the final blow. "She doesn't really fit in here, Rose. I don't know what you were thinking." And just like that, they rose from their seats, dragging Rose with them. Annie sat alone, heat rushing to her cheeks. She wanted to vanish, to melt into the floor. But then her mother's voice echoed in her mind. "Your skin is your crown." Her hands steadied. She lifted her head. She refused to be small. "I am proud of who I am," she whispered. The waiter approached nervously, glancing toward the empty chairs. "Would you still like to order dessert, ma'am?" Annie smiled gently. "Yes, bring me the best thing on the menu." The waiter hesitated, then smiled back, admiration flickering in his eyes. "Coming right up." She ate alone, but with dignity. Each bite was a declaration. "I belong. I am enough." Later that night, her phone buzzed. A message from Rose. "I'm sorry. They didn't mean it like that." Annie stared at the screen, anger boiling. Her thumbs hovered before she typed back. "You left me. You let them humiliate me, and you walked away. That's worse than what they said." The message sent. No reply came. At home, her mother sat with her on the couch, brushing her hair back gently. Annie whispered, "Why did she leave me? She promised she wouldn't." Her mother's eyes glistened. "Because she wasn't strong enough to stand beside you, but you are strong enough to stand alone." Her little brother peeked in from the hallway. "Annie?" She turned, wiping her tears. "Yeah, buddy?" He ran and hugged her. "You're the bravest person I know." Her heart swelled. His words healed cracks that Rose's betrayal had left. But the gossip didn't stop. Rose's friends spread whispers around campus. "She's too sensitive," always playing the victim. Annie walked past them, her head high. Inside, the whispers stung. But she learned something powerful. Their words only had the weight she gave them. Late one night, she stood in front of her mirror, staring at her reflection. Her own eyes stared back, steady, fierce. "I will never apologize for being me. Never," she said firmly. It wasn't just a whisper, it was a vow. Weeks later, Annie walked back into that same restaurant. Not with Rose, not with those who had abandoned her, but with classmates who valued her for her brilliance, her kindness, her spirit. Friends who saw her, truly saw her. The moment she walked in, heads turned. Some of Rose's friends sat at another table. Their laughter faltered when they saw her, but this time, Annie didn't flinch. She didn't shrink. She walked past with a smile that lit up the room. She sat down with her new friends, her laughter rising like music, her presence undeniable. Rose's friends whispered, but it no longer mattered. Their ignorance had no power here, because Annie had discovered something unshakable. Their acceptance was not her validation. Her worth was not up for debate. Her skin was her crown. Her pride was her shield. And her smile was her victory. Annie's story isn't just hers. It belongs to anyone who has ever been left behind because of prejudice, anyone who has been told they don't belong, anyone who has felt small in a world that refused to see their light. This story is a reminder. Rejection does not define you. Betrayal does not break you. What defines you is the strength to rise, the courage to stand tall, and the pride to embrace who you are. So to everyone listening, hold your crown high, because no one can take from you what was never theirs to give. If Annie's courage inspired you, like this video, comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories of resilience, pride, and triumph.